Hey guys, welcome to another YouTube video, and welcome to a preview in the first video that I'm gonna make of the NRL Magic Round weekend. So you guys all know the NRL, of course, Magic Round, of course, which is basically all 8 matches basically in one stadium, which is at Suncorp Stadium. They've been doing that for the last 4 or 5 years. And it's now that time again. But I wanna do a bit of a preview. An in-depth preview at all 8 games, as well as also as I mentioned, I am going to do a preview of the Women's State of Origin Game 1, which is as I'm recording this, gonna be on tomorrow night. So I don't know if I'm gonna upload this, but anyways, on this day. But anyways, I might maybe upload it tomorrow. Try and maybe upload it before the game starts. But anyways, with that, so yeah, I'm still contemplating whether to watch the game live, and just screw the AFL entirely for this weekend, or do I just watch, or do I watch the John Gold Coast game, which is obviously a very intriguing game, and obviously watch it next day on YouTube. But but I'm probably maybe gonna watch it most likely on going to watch it on most likely. Most likely I'm gonna watch it live, because so basically it doesn't, So I'm gonna preview that, as well as all 8 games of the rugby league. So running through. So the schedule is, there's 2 games on the Friday night. 2 games on the Friday night, 3 on the Saturday, and 3 on the Sunday. The team that has the bye this week is the St. George Illawarra Dragons, but this is the schedule. Friday. So the first Friday night game is is the Canberra Raiders up against the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, and then after that game will be the Manly Seagulls up against the Brisbane Broncos. Strangely, that is it's an away game for Brisbane, let alone it's at home, so it's a bit strange there. The 3 games, the Super Saturday, it starts off with the Gold Coast Titans up against the Newcastle Knights. Then the big class, probably one of the one of the anticipated games of this weekend, and that is the top of the table Cronulla Sharks, the high flying Cronulla Sharks, up against the Sydney Roosters. That one's going to be a twilight game for some reason, because I say some reason, because the Saturday night game is obviously the South Sydney Rabbitohs up against the North Queensland Cowboys. Which I expected to be a blowout, but after what news has just transpired today, as I'm recording this, probably not be as much as we all thought. But anyways, about that. But I would have loved to have seen the Sharks Roosters game be the one that is on. It was on the Saturday night, not on the Saturday twilight. But anyways. And then the 3 Sunday games, of course, New Zealand Warriors up against the Penrith Panthers, and then the second game would be the Melbourne Storm versus the Parramatta Eels, and then the last game of the weekend is the West Tigers up against the Dolphins. Fins up and all that stuff. I just wanted to do that. For the record, I've always wanted to do that on video. finally I've done it. But anyways, probably not the last time I'm going to go do it in this video, by the way. So yeah, so let's run you through all the games here. So, and also the game one of which is going to be on tomorrow night is going to be on at 7:45. Apparently it's apparently it's going to be on Channel 9, but I don't know about Fox League and KO though. I really don't know. Judging by that, and that's a bit of a no. So fortunately for all of us, you don't have to. You have to watch go to pay TV to watch the Women's State of Origin. So anyways, so yeah. So I'll do a preview of the Magic Round matches first, and then I'll do State of Origin series. The Women's State of Origin series, that is. So I'll start off in order. Let's start off with the first game between the Canberra Raiders and the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. It's 7th versus 9th right now. The game is going to be only just be on Foxtel and KO, which is good because obviously I've got Foxtel Go at the moment, so that will be fantastic. So so 4 ins each for both sides. Obviously with the Raiders, it's you got Zach Wolford, Peter Holler, Jordan Rapana, and Hoya Puru is in for Canberra, and the ins for the Bulldogs. Of course, Blake Wilson, Jake Turpin, Fasuawi, or we want to call it. I felt butchered that name. Apologies for that. And Toby Sexton. Those are going to be the ins there. So the lineups here for the Raiders. So firstly for the Raiders here, I'm going to pull this across here so I don't. Yeah, so basically at fullback, so in the backs you got Jordan Rapana at fullback. You got Nick Kotrick and Xavier Savage on the wings, and Matthew Timoko and Sebastian Chris in the centres, with Ethan Strange at 5'8" and Kano Weeks as at half back. For the forwards, you got Josh Prapani and Joseph Tapai as props. Danny Levi as hooker. Then you got Hudson Young and Captain Elliot Whitehead as second rowers, with Morgan Smithies at lock. The interchange, you got Tom Starling, Moata, Trey Mooney, and Emery Gula is the interchange, and the replacement player for the Raiders is Albert Hopewate, with the reserves being Zach Wolford, Simi Salagi, Peter Holler, and Hopa Puru are the reserves. So anybody is going to be out late in this one. That will be the reserves in that one. For the Bulldogs, their backs, obviously you got Connor Tracy at fullback. You got Jacob Curez and the Fox, Josh Adokar in the wings. And then at the centres, you got Bronson Sherry and Stephen Crichton. At 5'8", you got Matt Burton, and at half back you got Drew Hutchison. Moving on to the forwards, you got Max King and Samuel Hughes as props, with Ray Maloney as hooker. In the second, you got Billy Kickow and James Salmon in the second rowers, with Curtin Mann at lock. On the interchange bench, you got Bailey Hayward, Josh Curran, Curtis Moran, and Jacob Preston. And with Poasa, I'm not going to say that last name. I'm going to butcher it again. Here as a replacement player, with the reserves being Blake Taffy, Jake Turpin, Toby Sexton, and Blake Wilson. So those are the team lineups. The team lineups for the first game of Magic Round. Look at the stats here. Of course, the leisure in the head-to-head is all with the Canberra Raiders, 23-18, and the last time these two teams met, which was in round 25 last year. Canberra came away 36-24 winners at Canberra, thanks to 2 tries from Matt Timoko there as well, and Jared Croker getting 6 from 6 in terms of conversions, and that's despite them being it was being 12 all at half time in that game, by the way. So yeah, that's yeah, as you can see with the form guide, or not you can see, but obviously with the form guide, obviously, Canberra obviously started the season like a house on fire at the start of the season, but obviously, of course, they steadied the ship with a 26-24 win over a 26-24 win over the Manly Sea Eagles, but after those 2 straight losses against Brisbane and Cronulla. While the Bulldogs have been rather competitive over the last month, I mean, they got that shock win against the Sydney Roosters. You had that heartbreaking 2-point loss away to the Melbourne Storm. Then they beat the Knights. They beat the West Tigers, which was expected, really, to be honest. And then they only lost by 6 points against the Penrith Panthers. So they've been pretty competitive over the last month, really have the Bulldogs, really on that front. So yeah, in terms of who's got the better in terms of statistics, obviously you got Canberra's better at points scored, 190-174. Surprisingly, the Bulldogs have been better than them defensively, conceding 155 points compared to the Raiders with 204. Completion rate and tackle efficiency. The Raiders are best in that. You got the average point score is obviously the same as the points scored and conceded. Average play of the ball, yeah. Here we go. Wins at this venue. Both teams don't have a good success rate at Suncorp Stadium. Of course, the Bulldogs have more wins. They've had 8 wins from 29 visits at Suncorp Stadium, while the Raiders have had only 6 wins from 22 visits at Suncorp. Yeah, so that's pretty much it on that front. And I also will be doing my tips as well at the end of it as well. Who I think will win those games. So stay tuned for that at the very end. So I think if I pull this team statistics here, going at their points conceded. Both teams have well, of course, there's the potential for it to being a high-scoring game, obviously, because both teams are not the best and not the worst at both scoring and conceding either. Let's put it that way. But I think there might be a bit of a high-scoring game, really, and I think for me, if I look at the ladder here. I think the Bulldogs, if they win this game, they jump ahead of the Raiders on the ladder, and that means that they'll both go to 5-5. But if the Raiders win, they jump up. They jump to back up the ladder to 5th. Jump back up the ladder to fifth on the ladder, if they do end up winning against the Bulldogs on that front. So I think it's gonna be. I think it'll be a very interesting game. Apparently, according to the bookies, the Bulldogs are favourites. So, which is surprising enough. So I think it'll be a pretty interesting game, really, on that front. Moving on to the other Friday night game, it is between the Manly Sea Eagles and the Brisbane Broncos. Again, it's strange saying that the game's at Suncorp Stadium, yet it's an away game for Brisbane. So I find it strange, really. That front. In terms of the ins and outs here, the ins for both sides, obviously for the Sea Eagles, Brandon Wakeham, Dean Madison, Olakatanu, Jake Arthur, Jackson Portal, and Raymond Tamala Vega are all in for Manly. The ins for the Bronx, of course, Blake Moser, Corey Pax, Jaden Hunt, Jock Madden, Josiah Karapani, and Martin Talpo are the ins. Two big outs for the Manly Sea Eagles, with Jason Sabe and Tom Trebojevic out. With Billy Walters and Tristan Saylor out for the Broncos. So the lineups here, firstly for Manly, so at the back you got Tolatu Kula at fullback, Raymond Manu Vega, and Jackson Portal in the wings, Tommy Talau and Ruben Garrick in the centres, Luke Brooks at 5'8", and the captain Daly Cherry Evans at half back. In the forwards, you got Tanela Pasca and Josh Aloi as props, with Carl Lawton as hooker. Holomau Olakatanu and Ben Trebojevic are the second rowers, with Jake Trebojevic as lock. On the interchange bench, you got Gordon Chankum Tong, Corey Waddell, Ethan Bullimore, and Matthew Lodge, with Aaron Woods as the replacement player. And their reserves obviously are Jake Arthur, Dean Matheson, Brandon Wakeham, and Tuafua Sipley are their reserves. The squad, the lineup for the Brisbane Broncos are obviously Reece Walsh at fullback, Corey Oates and Dino Mariner as wingers, with Katoni Staggs and Selwyn Cobbo in the centres. Ezra Mam at 5'8", and Jock Madden at half back. You got then in the forwards, you got Corey Jensen and Payne Haas as props, with Tyson Smoothly as hooker. Brendan Pikakura and Jordan Ricky as front in the second row, with standing captain Patrick Carrigan in as lock. On the interchange bench, you got Blake Mosley, you got Xavier Willison, Kobe Hefferington, and Jack Goswinski on the interchange bench. The replacement player was Josh Rogers, with their reserves being Martin Talpo, Jaden Hunt, Josiah Karapani, and Corey Pax being their reserve players. Looking at the stats here, Manly edged them out just with 17 wins to 17 to 15, with the one draw involved in those 33 games. The last time these two teams met, which was also in Magic Round. Let's just say the Broncos actually pulled their pants down. They actually won that one 32-6, with them leading 20-0 at half time. So we don't need to go into that, especially for the Manly Sea Eagles fans there. Looking at their form guide, seeing Manly have dropped off after their tight losses to the Raiders and the Dolphins. Of course, and a lot of tight games. Obviously, of course, you had the 4-point win over the Titans, and then the draw over in New Zealand against the Warriors, and then the Broncos. They've started, to be honest, slowly this season, but they've really started to pick things up. Obviously, the odd day off obviously was against the Roosters when they got shellacked 40-18. But other than that, I mean, they smashed the Eels last week. I mean, they smashed the West Tigers. They smashed the Raiders and outplayed the Dolphins. So pretty much fantastic. It's been a great month really. Barring that game against the Roosters, they have been in good form. Manly, they've got a point to prove. Obviously, they've lost Trebojevic and Jason and Sabe with 2 injuries, so that's going to be tough going for them. In terms of the other statistics, points scored and conceded. Of course, Brisbane are in front in those 2 areas. Completion rate, Manly's got a better completion rate over the season, 77% compared to 75%. Tackle efficiency, both of them quite high, 87% for the Bronx, 84, under 86% for Manly. Average points scored and conceded. We don't need to play that. Key ones at this venue. We don't need to go to the Broncos, obviously, because they basically play most of their home games there. Which is a 44% success rate over at Suncorp Stadium. They've won 12 of 27 matches there. 12 of 27 matches over at Suncorp. So not a bad record over at Suncorp Stadium for the Manly Sea Eagles there. The same thing. So judging by, and by the way as well, they both actually no. I got to correct myself on that. They both have the exact same score. Yeah, they basically almost they average the exact same scores, 26 points per game. But in terms of the actual points scored, Brisbane is slightly in front. So it seemed like that. I'm guessing this could also be a very high scoring game, with both of them averaging 26 points per game, scoring 26 points per game, and then both of them over 20 points conceded per game. So obviously, so I think this might be a contender for a high scoring game, and then might be a chance where it might be a game where. One of those games where you have, for Seagulls, you got like Cherry, you got DCE, you got Luke Brooks, got Ruben Garrick, those guys, and then obviously with the Broncos, you got Walsh, Oates, Staggs, Cobbo, Mann, Payne Haas, Patrick Carrigan in there as well, who can most likely, if it's a tight game, they would step up to the plate and try and win their team the game. So pretty much. They're on that front as well, and the repercussions of this, obviously, if Manly do win, they would jump up to fifth on the table, while the Broncos they would go inside the top 4. I think yes, they go inside the top 4. Above the Dolphins, if they do end up winning that as well. But pretty interesting game for both sides if they want to continue their run towards the final. So and also, by the way, this game is not only also on Foxtel and KO, but also it's on the Nine Network as well. It's on free to wear. Hooray! Even though there's been ads recently for the Save Live Free Sport, which is So anyways, moving on to the Saturday games. So the first Saturday game is obviously the 10th place is the 16th place Titans up against the 10th place Newcastle Knights. This game is at 3 p.m. And there's a lot of ins really for the Gold Coast Titans this week. Here they are. So obviously, the ins for both sides are Aaron Shoop, Isaac Fasanawi. I think I've just stuffed that up, but anyways, let's go roll with it. Jacob Alec Winker. I just said the wrong thing. Sorry about that. I know some of you guys are going to laugh out of that. But anyways, moving on. Jalen DeGroot, Joe Stimson, Keenan Palacia, Tom Weaver, and Tony Francis. And the ins for the Knights are Fletcher Sharp, Jacob Salafiti, Jade Cartwright, Christian Mapapalangi, Matt Croker, and Thomas Kant. With the outs in the outs in this side for Gold Coast Titans being AJ Brimson, Charlie Smith Shields, Kieran Foran, and Philip Sammy. With two outs for Newcastle Knights being Daniel Salafiti and Tyson Gamble. So let's run through the lineups here. First of all, for the Titans, so you got Keno Kinney at fullback. You got Khan Pereira and Jojo Fafita as wingers. With Brian Kelly and Aaron Shoop as in the centres. Chris Randall at 5'8" and Sam Virils as half back. In the forwards, you got Moaki Futuka, and the captain and Jamin Jolliffe in his props with Aaron Clark as hooker. You got David Fafita, who's been in the news this week, obviously with him staying at the Gold Coast Titans, even though there was severe interest from the Sydney Roosters. He also Bo Firma as well in the second row with Cleese Haas at lock. On the interchange bench, you got Keenan Palacia, Isaac Liu, Josiah Polulu, and Joe Stimson, with Tom Weaver as the replacement player. And their reserves are Tony Francis, Jacob Winnick. I think that's how you say it. Not what I said the last time around. But anyways, Isaac or whatever you want to say it, there, and Jalen de Groot as their reserves. For the Knights lineup, you got at fullback. You got David Armstrong. Their wingers, you got NRL Tuala with Greg Matthews as wingers, with Dave Gagai and Brandon Best in the centres. Jack Cogger at 5'8", and Jackson Hastings at half back. Moving on to the forward, you got Jacob Salafiti and Leo Thompson as props, with Jalen Brayley at hooker. At the second, you got Tyson Frizzell and Dylan Lucas as second rowers, with Adam Elliott at lock. On the interchange bench, you got Felix Crossland, Kai Pearce, Paul Brody Jones, and Jack Hetherington, with Matt Croker as the replacement player. On their reserves, you got Jed Cartwright, you got Christian Mapalangi, you got Thomas Kant and Fletcher Sharp. So if Thomas doesn't get off the ground, let's just say they say to him, he can't go on the ground. But terrible pun. Sorry to all the Newcastle Knights fans who are watching this, by the way, for doing that. But the team stats, you got team statistics. You got the Knights slightly in front on the head-to-head range against the Titans, 15-13. The last time these two teams met, which was in round 11 last season in Newcastle, the Knights won that high-scoring match 46-26. That was, and can you believe it was back when Kalen Ponga was there. It was back when Dominic Young was still playing with the Knights. Now he's playing a role at the Roosters. Back when David Fafita was doing his thing. So it was a pretty high scoring game in that one. And then look at their form guide. Obviously the Titans, despite their horror start to the season, they really have got their act together, even though they haven't won much. I mean, they lost. They lost in the dying minutes against the Raiders, 21-20. Then they lost by 4 against the Manly Seagulls. Then they got their first win of the season on Anzac Day against the Warriors, which is probably one of the big upsets of the season if you think about it, because it's one thing to go up there, another to go up there on Anzac Day, and another again to win it, and they did. Then they just got pimped by the Melbourne Storm, and again they got pimped by the Cowboys. Or actually no, they won. They pimped it over the line against the Cowboys, 20-18 last week. So they got some form in basically getting their fans nervous. Let's put it that way. Some of them successful, some not. But anyways, on that front there, obviously, of course, the Knights obviously better in that statistic. In all those statistics, obviously, except for the completion rates, obviously the Titans are in front on the 82% to 80. Both teams have a fairly high tackle efficiency percentage. Bit even in terms of points scored, in terms of average points scored. Slightly better in terms of defense for the Knights. In terms of this venue, the Titans surprisingly enough, the Knights have a better percentage record, win record at Suncorp Stadium than the Titans. Obviously, 45% to 35. Despite the Titans. Despite the Titans playing for 14 more games there than the Knights, which is surprising in a lot of ways. To be honest, there. This match, to be honest, which is only on Foxtel and KO, mind you. This game could go two ways. It could either, could end in an absolute blowout, or it could end like for the Titans, like it has been the last month, which is basically evolved in thrillers. So yeah, it's one of those two, I think, in my opinion. And both teams are, and definitely that win against the Cowboys, who are definitely in it. Who are definitely in finals. One of those that definitely want to be in finals contention. That would be a confidence boosting win for Des Hasler and his men, to be honest. And could they do it again? There's a possibility. I don't know, but moving on to what I like to call the match of the round. Moving on to the match of the round, it is the top of the table Cronulla Sharks up against the 5th placed Sydney Roosters. Sadly, this game is only going to be watched on Foxtel and KO, unfortunately. So the ins for both sides. The ins for the Sharks are Billy Burns, Braden Trindle, Moen Hiratin. The big in Nico Hines, Niwai Peru, and Samuel Stone Street are in for the ins for Cronulla. For the Roosters, a couple of big ins here with Brandon Smith. You got Ethan King, Nafa to Whitey. Still Tupuana, Suai Wong and Zach Docker Clay, with the two outs for both sides being for the Sharks being Baden Hamlin Yuli and Cade Dykes. The big outs for the Roosters, that being Joey Manu and from injury, and Sandon Smith with suspension. So yeah. So on the lineups here. So firstly, the Sharks. At fullback, you got William Kennedy. At the wingers, you got Sloan Katoa and Ronaldo Militano. With Jesse Randon and Kale Iro in the centres, Daniel Atkinson at 5'8", and Nico Hines back in the side at half back. In the forwards, in the forward pack, you got Thomas Hazelton and Oregon Kafusi as props. With Blake Brayley as hooker. Brits on Nicola and Nick Wilton in second rowers with Captain Cameron McGuinness as captain. On the interchange bench, you got Jack Williams. Jack Williams, Seafoot to Takakai, Royce Hunt, and Tuko Hau Pulatua, Tapua, with Samuel Stonestreet as the replacement player. Their reserves, you got Moen Hurity, Braden Trindle, Hurai Puru, and Billy Burns. The lineup for the Roosters, you got Captain James Tedesco as fullback. You got Daniel Tupou and Dominic Young as wingers. Joseph Suawi and Metalunga Matapulga in the centres. You got Luke Keary at 5'8" with Sam Walker as half back. In the forward pack, you've got the big pair of Jared Weir-Hargreaves and Lindsay Collins as props, with Brandon Smith as hooker. In the second rowers, you got Angus Crichton and Nat Butcher, with Victor Radley at lock. On the interchange bench, you got Connor Edwards, Egan Butcher, Spencer Linu and Tyrrell May, with the replacement player being Zach Docker Clay. The reserve players, that being Nufuru Whitey, Tupawanga, Ethan King, and Sua Wong are the reserve players for the Roosters. Looking at the statistics here, so see here, as you can tell, this that the Roosters have a good record against the Sharks with scoring 28 wins out of the 46 matches played against these two sides, one of them being a draw. And the last time these two teams met, which was in week 1 of the finals last year, the Roosters pimped them over the line with a 13-12 win, thanks to a field goal in the 72nd minute from Sam Walker. So it was a pretty low scoring game in that one. Down at PointsBet Stadium. So this could basically be a thrilling game also, but yeah. So the Sharks obviously have breezed through the month. Obviously, of course, they've taken on all it's confronted them basically. Same too as the Roosters. Their only blemish over the last month being, of course, the loss against the Storm, but other than that, obviously they smashed the Dragons on Anzac Day, smashed the Broncos, and also smashed the Warriors as well over the last 3 weeks. Scoring 138 points combined out of these last 3 weeks as well, with at the same time, if I could do my maths, 60, 80, 80, 85 points scored out of these last 3 weeks for them. So a lot of scoring has been done out of those 3 teams so far. I can guess this could be a potentially a high-scoring game. I mean, both sides have scored. Of course, Sharks nearing 250 points scored. The Roosters nearly 300 points scored. As I said, they scored 138 points over the last 3 games, which is outstanding, which is incredible. Both of them have the same. Have the exact same completion rate. Both of them are around the same in terms of tackle efficiency. And in terms of wins at this ground, at this venue at Suncorp, nearly 50% is So I think that almost improves it almost to 50% if the Roosters do win this one on late Saturday afternoon. But the Sharks have to overcome a terrible record there. Obviously, they've only won at Suncorp Stadium 7 times in 23 visits there. So not good record there. Straight up, I think this could end in a thriller. I could see somebody like, I don't know, for them, like someone like a Nico Hines or maybe like a Dominic Young or a Sam Walker, be the hero for them with a match-winning try or a match-winning field goal, something like that. To be honest, because that is the real possibility in that. But as I said, I still think this is the real match of the round. To be honest, out of all matches, to be honest, there's no other standout matches here than that one. And now we turn to the opposite, in my opinion. I think this straight up. I think this could potentially to be a blowout. It has the potential to be a blowout. An easy blowout, and it's a shame that poor Channel 9 would have to basically have this match to show on their television screens. It is the South Sydney the last placed South Sydney Rabbitohs against the North Queensland Cowboys. So, but let's run you through their ins and outs and their lineups. Why? Because why the hell not? Adam Christensen, the ins for them are Adam Christensen, Alex Johnston, Jacob Gagai, Liam LeBlanc, and Tane Milne. The ins for the Cowboys, you've got Brayden Burns, Jake Clifford, Jackson Purdue, Jordan McLean, and Murray Talangi. With the one outs from each team for the Rabbitohs, that being Michael Chikam, and for the Cowboys, that being Semi Valami, which will be out, which are all out as well. Which funny to say, I say it's going to be a blowout because there's going to be a lot of quality in this team out there on this field on Saturday night. So starting for the Rabbitohs, obviously fullback, you got Latrell Mitchell, then you got Alex Johnston and Jacob Gagai on the wings, Jack Whiten and Isaac Tulipu Thompson in the centres, Cody Walker, the captain at fullback at 5'8", with Dion Tiapart at half back. In the forwards, you got David Moole and Sean Kepi as props. Damien Cook and Keaton Kulamatangi I mentioned the wrong position. Damien Cook is hooker, Keaton Kulamatangi and Jai Arrow as second rowers, with Sylvia Haveli in as a lock. On the interchange bench, you've got Peter Mamalusis, Tallis Duncan, Thomas Burgess, and Tane Milne. With Guillemette Shibeski, Matthew French, Alan Christensen, Bailey Bentley Happ, and Liam LeBlanc as the reserves. Shibansky is going to be the replacement player for them, by the way, which I forgot to mention. The side for the Cowboys, you got Scott Drinkwater at fullback. You got Kyle Feltz as wing. Kyle Feltz and Murray Taulagi as wingers. Val Holmes and Valley in the centres. Tom Dearden, the captain, at 5'8", with Chad Townsend at half back. In the forward pack, you got Jordan McLean and Griffin Neem as prop. Reece Robson at hooker. Liam Lukey and Jeremiah Nanai as second rowers, with Ruben Cotter at lock. On the interchange bench, you got Sam McIntyre, Thomas McKelly, Kulafu Fonaletti, and good old Jason Tambalulu on the interchange. Still can't believe that Tambalolo is still going around. Still can't believe that, by the way. The replacement player for them, that being Jake Granville. Their reserves, that being Jake Clifford, Harrison Edwards, Braden Burns, and Jackson Purdue are their reserves. Looking at their team statistics, the last time these two sides met, which was in round 17 last year, the Cowboys actually thumped them 31-6, thanks to 5 tries to 1. Thanks to 5 tries to 1, 4 of them from the Cowboys being the second half, by the way. And with Scott Drinkwater kicking the field goal right on the halftime hooter, by the way. So don't know why he did that back then, anyways. But anyway, and also, by the way, just to mention as well, if the Cowboys do win, which is more than likely, we're going to have an even ledger between the two sides at 19 wins apiece, which is great, really. Both of these sides are coming off poor form, obviously. I think the Rabbitohs are much worse, obviously. Obviously, there's no end in sight for them. But there might be. But of course, they just announced, obviously, Wayne Bennett coming back for 3 years or for $3 million, which is the middle of the season. Maybe that could spur them on, maybe for that potential, maybe. But seriously though, I think but I think it's a focus on basically, just improving, just to get through the season, really, for the Rabbitohs, and then when Wayne comes along and basically, builds them up again. So but on the other hand as well, for the Cowboys, after a very good start to the season, they really did have tapered off since then with 5 straight losses. This is a chance really to get back to form and show everyone, show the NRL worldwide, are they considered to be a finals contending team again. No need to go through the points scored to conceded, because it's going to be obvious. Completion rate even. Tackle efficiency. The Cowboys are shitting over the Cowboy over the Rabbitohs on that front. And both sides, surprisingly enough, have played the exact same amount of games at Suncorp. At Suncorp with the Rabbitohs having a sort of a better winning percentage with 48% compared to 42%. That is because of them winning 15 to 31 games at Suncorp. So yeah, but so not much to talk about this game. I'm expecting this to be a blowout. That's all I could say really about this game. That's all I could say. Moving on to the 3 Sunday games. First off, is the New Zealand Warriors up against the 3-time reigning premiers in the Penrith Panthers. So the ins and outs there. So the ins for the Warriors are Ali Litatua, Ben Farr, Jacob Laban, Marcelo Montoya, Paul Roach, Tanner Stowers Smith, and Zion Malayu are the ins. The ins as well for Penrith are Dane Laurie, Isaac Tago, Preston Ricky, Scott Sorensen, Sonny Luke, and Tyrone Peachy. Big outs for both of these guys were the Warriors with Freddie Lusick, Rocco Berry, and Sean and the big one in the playmaker in Sean Johnson. And there's one big out as well for the Panthers by the name of Nathan Cleary, who's going to be out for the next 8 weeks, I think I said, with a hamstring injury, with Liam Henry also out as well. So he will be out. They will be out as well. Moving on to the lineup here for the lineups here. So you got Tane Tulapiki at full for the Warriors at fullback. You got DWZ. I'm just gonna call DWZ because I'm gonna most likely get his name wrong there. With Marcelo Montoya also in the wings, Ali Litatua and Adam Pompey in the centres. With Charlie with Charzy Nickel Klostad at 5'8", with Tima Martin at half back. I think I said C and K there at 5'8". I think I said. In the forwards, you've got Adam Fonda Blake and Bunty Afua as props. Wayne Egan as hooker. Jackson Ford and Mitchell Barnett in the second row, and you got Tua Harris, the captain, in at lock. On the interchange bench, you got Dylan Walker, Tom Ailey, Jazz Tefalanga, and Jacob Laban on the interchange bench, with their replacement player being signed as on Mayu as the replacement player, with the reserves being Edward Cossey, Paul Roach, Tanner Stowers Smith, and Ben Farr as the reserves. Moving on to the Panthers, of course, you got Dylan Edwards at fullback, you got Suna Tuavua, and Brian To'o on the wings. You got Isaac Tago and Taylor May both in the centres. Jack Cole at 5'8", with replacing the Nathan Cleary. Because of course Jerome Luai replaces Cleary with the number 7 jersey. At the forwards, you got Moses Luita and James Fisher Harris as props, with Mitch Kenny at hooker. In the second row, you got Luke Garner and Liam Martin, with captain Isaiah Yeo as lock the captain. The interchange bench, you got Dane Laurie, Lindsay Smith, Matthew Heisenhuth, and Maverick Geyer as on the interchange bench, with Paul Alamotti as their replacement player. As the reserves, that being Preston Ricky, Tyrone Peachy, Sonny Luke, and Scott Sorensen, all as the reserves. So those were the ins and outs and the scores for both teams. Not surprisingly, of course, the head-to-head record, the Panthers absolutely smashed them with 30 wins for 47 games, one of them being a draw. The last time these two teams previously met was also in week 1 of the finals, when the Panthers absolutely pulled their pants down and showcased gave the Warriors a lesson about finals football, scoring 5 tries to 1 there. Of course, Nathan Cleary was at his absolute brilliant best as usual, which that you won't get to experience because obviously he is injured. So so the Panthers here, I kind of make them. I'm trying to remember who it was. They remind me a lot like a lot of the other teams have been, where they've been. So they remind me a bit of the Broncos, where they've been a bit, I'm not saying they had a bad start to the year, but not the sort of start they would have wanted in a lot of ways. But now they've really, with their results against the West Tigers, the Cowboys, of course the Rabbitohs, and of course just escaping against the Bulldogs, proves that they're really slowly edging their way into the season. And they're going up, while unfortunately for the Warriors, it's the other way around. I mean, we all thought, even I predicted them to go to next level when what they did in 2023. But I feel like Andrew Webster, their coach, I feel like his tactics are more exposed in his second season. I think that's probably why he got the side to finish top 4 the way they did, because obviously nobody really was expecting them too much out of them, and then suddenly, bang, they made it through to a prelim. Even maybe was I caught up in all the hype surrounding the Warriors this season. With them finishing 14th, yeah, I think so. But yeah, but obviously these sort of games like against the Titans, they should with the form that the Titans were in at the time on that day, especially at home, they should have won that, but they didn't. And also against the Seagulls too, they should have won that, and they didn't. They ended up drawing that game as well. So yeah, but I'm thinking there's the possibility that maybe there's another, that this might be a bit of an average sort of game. Really an average sort of game, to be honest. I think the Panthers. I think the Panthers. I believe. I could see definitely the Panthers maybe blowing them out at some point. I think, and looking at that, I think they have. I think they have one. I think they're alongside. I think Melbourne is the top, the best record outside of the Brisbane Broncos when it comes to their record at Suncorp, because 57%. I mean, 17 wins from 30 games over there. That's just incredible. While on the other hand, the Warriors not a good record. Only 6 wins from 22 visits there. So if they want to win that, they would have to overtake history really on that front. Really, yeah. But surprisingly enough, though, completion rate and tackle efficiency, the Warriors are better than them so far. They're better than the Panthers so far this season. Surprisingly enough, So yeah, but I get the feeling here that the way the Panthers have gone defensively, conceding only 14 points per game so far, and also the fact that the Panthers can score as well, that's why I could think this could be a blowout, to be honest, in this one. To be in fairness, really, for that one there. So yeah. Moving on to the next game. This one could also have the potential maybe to become a bit of a blowout as well. That is the third place Melbourne Storm against the 13th placed Parramatta Eels. Luckily for me, as a Melbourne Storm fan, it is on Channel 9, so I can watch that. So no real outs for both sides. For the ins for the Storm, so you got Chris Lewis, Dean Ieremia, Joe Chan, and the big in for the Storm being one Xavier Coates. Or should I say, Try of the Year winner, Xavier Coates, to put it that, have you all may know. So yeah, and then for the Eels, you got Bryce Cartwright, Luca Moretti, Morgan Harper, and Waimu Greg are the ins for the Eels. The side for the Melbourne Storm, their backs obviously Sulabati Falogo at full back, Will Warbrick and Xavier and returnee Xavier Coates on the wings, with Remus Smith and Nick Meaney in the centres, Cam Munster at 5'8" with Tyrone Wishart at half back. The forwards obviously have Christian Walsh and Josh King at prop, with Harry Grant who escaped suspension at the judiciary this week following an incident during the loss against Cronulla. He'll maintain his place as hooker. Hooker obviously being the captain. Sean Bloor and Eli Lisa Katoa in the second row, with Trent Leriro at lock. On the interchange bench, you got Jack Howarth, Tui Kamakamika, Big Nelson Asifa Solomona, and Alec McDonald. With Grant Anderson as the replacement player. The reserves players, that being Joe Chen, Bronson Garlick, Dean Ieremia, and Chris Lewis are their reserves. To the Parramatta Eels side now, at fullback you got Blaze Talangi. Then at the winger in the winger positions you got Mikaya Sebo and Bailey Simonson. In the centres you got Will Penasini and Sean Russell, with Diane Assi at 5'8" and Dylan Brown as half back. In the props, you got Regan Campbell Gillard and Captain Junior Pulu, with Joey Lissick as hooker. The second rowers, you got Sean Lane and Ryan Madison, with Jermaine Hopgood being at lock, with Bryce Cartwright, Makaheshi Makatoa, Joey Asalangao, and Lemi Tuolangi as on the interchange bench, with Brendan Hands as the replacement player. Hopefully he brings his hands to the game. But I'm gonna move on from that. Reserves, you got Morgan Harper, Ethan Sanders, Wyatt McGregor, and Luca Moretti in as the reserves players. Looking at the team stats here, obviously the Storm are in front of the Eels in the head-to-head, 26-18. Last time these two sides met was round 22 last year at Marvel Stadium. Storm actually smashed them 46-16. Thanks to 2 tries from the now captain Harry Grant, with the likes of Hughes, Munster, Sever, Warbrick, King, Katoa all getting on the score sheet, with Nick Meaney as well with the conversions as well with that. The form, obviously the Storm's form was good. It was good leading in, but obviously the shock result, obviously with Cronulla beating them last weekend, obviously was a bit of a shock to the system there. The Eels, not good form, let's put it that way. They got I mean, if you discount the win against the Cowboys, man, they got smashed by the Raiders. They got smashed by the Dolphins. The Raiders 41-8. They got smashed by the Dolphins 44-16. Basically in it for most of the game against the Seagulls, but fell away at the end of the game, and also the same thing against the Broncos. So it's they're not in good form. Let's put it that way. And obviously, let's not go to the points scored and concede, obviously, because obviously it's going to be dominant, obviously, by the Melbourne Storm. Completion rates are fairly low for both sides. 78% to the Storm compared to 77% for the Eels. Both of them about the same tackle efficiency. And of course, not surprisingly, the Storm has the best record of anybody at Suncorp Stadium outside of the Brisbane Broncos, with a 76% success rate, with 28 wins from 37 games, which is bonkers, if you say the least. I mean, if you look at the Raiders' record at Suncorp, it's basically quite decent. 48%, 12 wins from 25. But if you compare that to the Storm, it's just absolutely unbelievable. I think to end this and move on to the last game against which is the Tigers and the Dolphins. This one, I could potentially think we could potentially have 3 straight blowouts, counting the Rabbitohs Cowboys game on the Saturday night. I think to be honest, I think we're gonna have. I think this one's gonna be potentially gonna be a blowout too. To be honest here with you guys, but yeah. And then now moving on to the final game of Magic Round on the Sunday night. It is the West Tigers up against the Dolphins. Of course, the ins for the West Tigers are out as follows: Alex Lobb, Esu Kepalunga, Kit Lauatiti, Sloan Finu, Solomon Malu, Solomon Fatapi, and Tony Suka. The ins for the Dolphins are as follows: Edric Lee, Hamiso Tabau Fado, Jared Wallace, Aaron Keeley, and Sean O'Sullivan. 3 outs for the West Tigers with Isaiah Papali, John Bateman, and Stafford Toa, and only 1 out for the Dolphins, that being Max Plath. So looking at the lineup for the West Tigers, you got Jereen Buller at at fullback, I should say, with Charlie Staines and Solomon Mallow as wingers, with Brent Naden and Justin Olam in the centres. Lachlan Gavin at 5'8", and Jaden Sullivan at half back. In the forwards, you got Stefano Kamanu and David Klima as props, with Api Coruscant, the captain, as hooker. Samuel Fenu and Alex Seyfarth in the second row positions, with Alex Twal at lock. An interchange bench, you got Jacob Simkin, Funa Pola, Asu Kepawa, and Sloan Fintu there on the interchange, with Talon De Silva as their replacement player, with Solomona Tape, Alex Lobb, Kit Lily, and Tony Suka as their reserves players. For the Dolphins, of course, Hamiso Tabau Fado comes back in at the fullback position. Jermaine Sacco and Jack Bostock as wingers, with Jake Varillo and Herbie Farnworth in the centres. Cody Nikarima and Isaiah Katoa at the half back position. Captain Jesse Bromwich and Mark Nichols as props, with Jeremy Marshall King as hooker. Second row, you got Felice Kafusi and Ufan Aitken, with Kenneth Bromwich, with Kenny Bromwich, the other Bromwich brother, at lock. On the interchange, you got Josh Kurt Donahue, Ray Stone, and Connolly Lemieux, with Trey Fuller as their replacement player, and their reserves are Sean O'Sullivan, Jared Wallace, Edric Lee, and Aaron Keeley are their reserves players. We'll not look at that because that's a recent one here, but the most recent game, which was about a month ago actually, which was the Dolphins winning against them 26-16. 26-16. Thanks to 2 tries in 5 minutes, that really did win the Dolphins the game, despite an Alex Seyfarth try in the last 10 minutes of the game really made things interesting for them. But anyways, it was really epidemic from there, and thrillers as well. And in the other game, which was played, obviously the West Tigers just picked them over the line. I think it was in Golden Point, I believe. No, it was a penalty goal that won them the game there on that front. The other one back in 2023. So yeah, but obviously the West Tigers obviously not in good form, let's put it that way. While the Dolphins, they've had their hiccups this season, but they're in splendid form, and they deserve to be where they are in the top 4. So yeah, points scored and conceded. Let's not put it that way. Completion. Let's not go for that because it's quite obvious. Completion rate quite low. Not quite low, but a bit, not very low, but a bit low for both sides. The Dolphins a better tackling efficiency, and then obviously we can't compare these sides' records at Suncorp because obviously the Dolphins are only just coming to the competition, so we can't really give it a complete comparison on that one. I think for me that this could also be one that could be a blowout. I think judging by this one here, I think the Raiders Bulldogs match that could be decent. So too, the probably most intriguing one would probably be the Gold Coast Titans and the Titans and the Knights game. That could go either way. That could be either end in a blowout or could end in an absolute classic and a thriller. I know this one will be a classic between Cronulla and the Roosters. But the other 4 on the other hand, the last 4 games that I consider them to be blowouts, to be honest. But before all these games that are going to be played, tomorrow night is going to be basically the start of Origin season because it's the start of the Ampol Women's State of Origin series. So running through all those. Or these here, and I'm gonna watch this live also because I'm gonna watch this live because probably I think it's my first experience in women's rugby league. So I've been wanting to get into women's rugby league for a little bit, but just haven't gotten into it. So that's but hopefully I will at some point. But so the side for the Queensland Maroons. At fullback, you got Tamika Upton. In the wingers, you got Julia Robinson and Emily Bass. Then in the centres, you got Shanae. I'm going to get these wrong. Let's put it that way. Sholka, I fancy say it. And Ivana Polite in the centres, Taryn Aiken at 5'8", and Zahara Tamara at half back. In the forwards, you got Shannon Matto and Jessica Elliston as props. Destiny with Destiny Brill at hooker. You got Tasman Rapana and Romy Tizel in the second rowers with Captain Ali Brigginshaw as lock. On the interchange bench, you got Ella Manselman, Sophie Holman, Lauren Brown, and Mackenzie Whale. Wheel, I should say, with the two reserve with Sienna Lufpo being the replacement player and the reserve player being Skylar Adams. For the Sky Blues, they as their side as follows. So I get a drink. You got Emma Tulagato as fullbacks, as a fullback. Jamie Chapman and Tiana Penatani as wingers, with Jessica Sergis and Captain Isabel Kelly in the centres. Corbin Baxter as 5'8", and Rachel Pearson as half back. In the forwards, you got Millie Elliott and Caitlin Johnston as props, with Olivia Higgins as hooker. Kezzy Apps and Yasmin Clydesdale as the second rowers, with Keely Davis at lock. On the interchange, you got Talia Filamanono. I just got that one wrong again. I feel I only got 2 wrong, so I'm not gone too bad, to be honest, in terms of these names here. Olivia Koenig, Grace Kemp, and Sarah Tonga Tuki on the interchange. The replacement player is Jackie Whitfield, with their reserve player being Kira Dibb. So those are the sides there for women's state of origin, for women's origin game 1. Currently, the head-to-head right now, it is 6-3 advantage the Sky Blues. The last time these two teams met was the last series rather that these two teams met. I think they did 2 games. I think they did 2 games last year. I don't want something to do with VB. I want this one. Thank you. I think it was the first full series. Yeah, it was. Yeah. So this time it was 2 matches. This one's going to be 3. And I think the most points combined end up winning. So basically, the first game, the Maroons ended up winning it at CommBank Stadium 18-10. And then the Sky Blues ended up winning the second game 18-14. But combined, it was 32-28 on aggregate, between the aggregate scores between the two, which meant that the Maroons, because it ended in 1 apiece, the Maroons ended up winning the series based on they had the highest score out of the two aggregate score out of the two teams in the Origin series. So yeah, but at least now they've gotten rid of that and they've decided to go with the 3-game concept, which has been the norm. So yeah, but yeah. So finally, I want to go into the ladder, predictor of this game here on NRL.com. So yeah, so I'm going to pick the teams and then I'll pick the margin afterwards. So Raiders, Bulldogs. I think I'm picking the Raiders for this one. Seagulls, Broncos. With Trebojevic and Sabe out, I think it'll be the Broncos. Titans and Knights. Oh, this one's going to be a tough one. I think that it is... You know what? I'm going to go with an upset here. I'm going to go Titans on this one. Sharks and Roosters. Oh, this one's the match of the round. This one's going to be a tough one. I think it would be... I'm going to go Sharks on this one. And the other 4 are as follows: Cowboys, Panthers, Storm, Dolphins. Easy. Let's do the bottom of the top with the margins here because it's going to be easy. Let's put it that way. I'm thinking by 24. Storm Eels, I think by 18. 24 points for the Panthers over the Warriors. Easily 30 for the Cowboys over the Rabbitohs. I think the Sharks Roosters game. I think this one. I think this could have the potential to go to Golden Point. I think that has that potential, in my opinion. There, the Titans. I think that knowing them, I think it will come out of a tight one. I think I'll go 4 points. I'll go 4 points in this one, and then the others. I'll go 8 points for the Broncos. I think it won't be as easy as it would be. And the same too with the first game on the Friday night. I don't think it'll be that easy. So I'm gonna go 8 points. So I can see them potentially maybe scoring a try at the end of the game to really put the game beyond doubt. To be honest, I think the Bulldogs for most of the game will keep them within reach, and then in the final minutes it'll be the Raiders that will storm home in the end. So judging by the ladder here, so it looks like that there will be the top of the table clash that will be next week afterwards between the Sharks and the Panthers. According to this, the Dolphins would move up to fourth. Would stay in fourth. The Broncos the Broncos and the Raiders would move up a spot, replacing the Roosters. They would drop down to 7th. The Cowboys would go up to 9th. The Titans, who were winless a few weeks ago, now I'm predicting them to go upwards to 13th on the ladder, unlucky for some. And then the Eels, the Warriors, and the West Tigers drop down. So it's pretty well set here. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for this preview. Oh, and also one last thing, who I think will win it in game 1. Where is it? Where is game 1 being played at? Suncorp Stadium as well. Oh yeah, Suncorp Stadium, of course. Why did I ask that? I think has there been games played there? No, yes there has, but the Blues have a bad record there. I think the Blues might win game 1. To be honest, judging by their record, I think judging by their record, a 67% winning percentage at Suncorp Stadium in Women's State of Origin matches, I think the Sky Blues will definitely win this. I think that they will win this one. Most definitely, I think they will. Most definitely, I believe they will win game 1. And a nice way for me to get into the State of Origin spirit, because about under a month late, about 2 to 3 weeks later, 2 to 3 weeks time, would be the first men's State of Origin game at Accor Stadium in Homebush. So pretty good way to get into the State of Origin spirit, really, and get on and put on my best Queenslander thing. Come on, please, for 30 in a row. Let's beat those dirty Blues. Anyways, but that's trying to end this video here. So like this video. Share this to anybody who is a Melbourne Storm fan or a Dolphins fan or if you're a Maroons fan or a Blues fan, or just a casual State of Origin fan. Comment down below who do you think is going to be the prize of Magic Round? Do you agree with me in saying, do you think the Titans will upset the Knights? Do you think or do you think there'll be another surprise, or is there any other predictions? Do you predict? Is there any predictable controversies that's going to happen over the weekend? Because normally there is an NRL, most likely with either the bunker or something else rather. But anyways, and one last thing, somewhere down there, click on the big red button, just label subscribe. It's about 11, so I'm gonna about 11 o'clock right now, so I'm gonna end this video here. So till next time, guys. I'll see you all later.